Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you are new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate in on the discussion, you can join me most weekdays where I go live on YouTube around 4 p.m. Central Time, or outside of my YouTube, you can consider joining the Discord I've created. There is a link for that down in the description below. Also down in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board that I've created or that my wife has created. And that is a great place for you guys to see some of the meals and recipes that I have been enjoying as I work towards my weight loss goals. Today is day 963 of my challenge to lose 300 pounds. So far, through a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet, I have been able to lose over 260 pounds, half my body weight. If anybody has any non-scale victories, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I love hearing those as well. It is weigh-in Wednesday. If you are succeeding with your diet, let us know what you're doing to succeed. If you are struggling with your diet, let me know, let us know what's causing your struggles. Maybe there's something that we can help you with. At the end of the day, what are some things that you are doing or that you can do that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Let's go ahead. There we go. There I am. All right. Hello, everybody. Hope your day is going wonderful. I have had a great day. I hope you guys had a chance to check out. See, my focus seems to be off here, or the focus on the camera. I hope you guys had a chance to check out my weigh-in video. I'm going to go over that here in a minute. Well, that's weird. Few people checking in. Let me say hi here. Pretty Girl's mom. Hello. Christy. Plants Only Muncher. Carrie checking in saying hello. Plants Only Muncher says, John, you calculated your weight loss wrong. You were down another 0.2. Yes, I had somebody else say that to me as well. So I must have been 259.2. Let me fix that here. I just didn't pay that close of attention, I guess. So I am down 260.6 pounds since I started this challenge. That is awesome. Yeah, so the weigh-in today, for the past month or so, I've been kind of stuck at that 260. I haven't been able to get down. I think the lowest my weight was prior to today was 261.4. So I was a pound and a half away from breaking into the it's 3.6 pounds was today. Yes. Well, somebody told me are you saying that I had said the wrong amount? You're saying I said 3.4, it was 3.6. Yes, it was 3.6 pounds that I lost because my weight before today was 262.8. So I lost 3.6 pounds in the past week. I'm pretty sure my weight was 259.2. I'm going to have to go look at the video now, I guess, and double check it here. Let me see what it says. Let me see if I can go to it. But so yes, I think the actual weight was 259.2. My weight loss was 3.6 pounds this past week. I'm amazed that I can have a 3-pound weight loss 960 days in to my challenge here, but let me go through and see if I can find my weigh in. Here we go. It was 259.2. Yes, 259.2. That is awesome. But yes, I was really trying to hit that 260. I was on a crazy run. I think it must have been through April. I had lost a bunch of weight kind of into May, and then I hit a little bit of a lull there. I got down to 261.4, and then over the course of the following 3 weeks, I think I gained 4-ish pounds, maybe 5 pounds. Yeah, it must have been about 5 pounds that I gained over 3 weeks. And then last week I had an awesome 4-pound loss. I mean, that's like almost 8 pounds in 2 days, or 7.5 pounds that I lost in 2 weeks. Not 2 days, in 2 weeks. But yeah, so I was real close to that 260. Off stream, I was even closer than 261.4, but it kind of stalled on me there for a minute. And, you know, a lot of times in the past, I'd have gotten maybe worried about that. I might have started trying to shake things up or to do something different. But one of the things that I've been trying to do since I started this challenge is to be consistent and to keep eating this way, because after I get to my goal weight, I'm going to continue to eat this way. So it's not going to change. So getting to my goal any faster isn't going to change what I eat on a day-to-day basis, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I kind of, you know, after having the 4-pound weight loss last week, I was nervous that it wasn't going to continue on. And I've been checking my weight a little bit here. You know, I check my weight pretty much daily when I'm at work where my scale is. And so I knew that I was doing okay. I didn't know if I would get to 260 going into today, but I'm really happy with how things worked out. And I am now 259.2. I have not seen the 250s since I was a freshman in high school. And that's just crazy. Like, that's pretty awesome. But yeah, it's been 20 plus years since I've been in the 260s, and it feels amazing to have this weight off and to have another 3 pounds off. I feel like I notice the pounds, you know, each pound coming off has a much larger effect on my overall well-being than it did when I first started. So I'm really happy about that. A few more comments here. Jay says, congratulations, Jonathan. 260s, never again. Well, I think if I hopped on the scale right now, I might be over 260. I just had a big bowl of potatoes. But yes, I don't ever want to weigh in on Wednesday and be over 260. I'm just hoping I can keep this weight loss going. You know, 3.6 pounds in 7 days is a good amount of weight each day. So I'm really happy with how that's going. Barb here says, happy Wednesday. Way to go, John. A huge milestone for you and exciting for us to see. Yes. I didn't realize going into this challenge that this would be such a milestone for me. In my mind, I thought of, you know, lots of milestones, you know, like losing my first 100 pounds or losing my first 200 pounds. But then a lot of my milestones are, you know, to get under 300, to get down to 275. But, well, I guess since I was 18 years old, 275 pounds was kind of my bar that I wanted to try to get to or get under. And that's kind of because that was the weight limit for wrestling as a high schooler. When I was going to school, you could be up to 275 pounds. And so after I graduated high school, that 275 was like the beacon that I was always reaching for. And I kind of talked a little bit about that in my stream today about goal setting. And that again would have been, had I not chosen to challenge myself to lose 300 pounds, I would have considered challenging myself to get under 300 or to get under 275 pounds. And if I would have made those my goals, I would have been done with this challenge months ago, because I hit that goal a couple months back, or I hit 275 a couple months back. But because my goal is to lose 300 pounds, to get down under 220, I'm still pushing. I haven't let off the gas. I haven't slowed down. My goal is still to get to 219.8 pounds. So I still need to be making the decisions to get myself to 219.8 pounds. So the idea of getting to 260 pounds never really crossed my mind prior to this, ever. Like I'd never set a goal of 260. I had never set a goal of 250. So it wasn't something where I would have considered that a big milestone. And then obviously 260 ends up just being a big milestone because of what my starting weight was. If my starting weight was 510, it would have been different. If my starting weight was 530, it would have been different. But half, like I could have an identical twin of me standing next to me, and that would be still a little bit shy of my heaviest weight ever, but the weight I was when I started this challenge. And that is wild. I don't think the world could handle two of me. Could barely handle one of me, twice the size I am. Yeah, I mean, it's such a great to hit it. And it's another one of those milestones that it didn't just happen. It took time. The other milestones that took me a lot of time was to get under 300. When I started this challenge, the first 180 pounds came off like nothing. Within 11 months, I was down to 210 was my lowest. And then I got injured and gained some of that weight back, and sat for like a year trying to go from 320 pounds back down to 300. And I had to do a lot of learning. That I would say that between 300 and 320, that weight for me was the most difficult, but I also learned the most about what I need to do and how I need to handle my diet going forward. So yeah, I'm really happy to hit this milestone, and I'm excited to hit the next one. And see, Pretty Girl's mom says, goodbye 260s, 240s, here you come. Yes, that'd be the next milestone, getting down to the 240s. Just crazy. It's only 10 pounds away. I'll be 249 something, just 10 pounds from now. I'm very excited about that. And it really, like I said, it makes a difference. The 10 pounds I am lighter today is a noticeable difference from what I was a month ago, when I was at 269. So I'm really happy with it. Chrissy says, awesome loss, John. Thank you. Annette says, hello. Hi, Annette. Tennessee New York girl says, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Thanks. Carrie says she's driving right now. She's going to see our son at camp. We got so much going on. I really want to go out to see him at camp, but the timing of it just does not work out for us, with all of the things I have going tonight. And that reminds me, I should make a phone call at some point. Sorry guys, I'm just going to double check something I should have looked at before I got on the stream here. Let me see. Okay, yep, that time. So let's see. Comments. Awesome. Congratulations. Nikki here says the sound is going in and out for Nikki. Pretty Girl's mom says it's okay for them. Barb says it's choppy. It is for me. You guys got to tell me these things. All right. No, it's fine. Thank you for telling me these things. Let me get this fixed. Let me try to mute the audio before I do all this. Okay. Oh, well. Okay. Well, as I went to reset that, they said that they started, it came back and it worked. So hopefully, and Christy said that it worked for them as well. So if you are having problems with the audio, just maybe turn it off and turn it back on again. Let's see. So yeah, I guess what we'll do is go over food since yesterday. If anybody has any questions they want to ask me, it would be a great day to ask me because I do have some extra time if we need extra time. So let me see where food is since yesterday. Here we go. Nikki here says, very happy for you and your progress. Thank you. You're doing an amazing and awesome job. Thank you so much, Nikki. And I want to thank everybody who's commented on my video already. I had a ton of comments on my way in today, and I really appreciate all you guys checking out that video, commenting, you know, all the likes, all that stuff is awesome. So let's go ahead and take a look at food since yesterday. Last night we had a wonderful dinner. It was Spanish rice and beans. Carrie threw some mushrooms in there to give it a little bit of extra texture and flavor, and it was awesome. So that was our Spanish rice and beans. I can kind of zoom in. You can see all of the wonderful ingredients. It's hard to see the mushrooms because Carrie's got this fancy vegetable chopper now, and it chops up the vegetables really tiny. And it saves us a ton of time, and it's very convenient to have, but it does make the mushrooms very small so you don't get like big slices of mushrooms. Then after dinner, or as a little snack, I suppose, after dinner, we had some corn on the cob. So Carrie picked up some corn on the cob. She was a little bit leery about it because the last time we picked up corn on the cob, it was not so good. It's not really the season for it yet here. So this had to get shipped from somewhere. And the corn on the cob last night was amazing. It was awesome. So had a little bit of corn on the cob last night. Then today for breakfast, we had our standard oatmeal, followed by some broccoli with table tasty on it there. Let me go through here and see. And then for lunch was interesting. So Carrie had brought in some Hannah yams. And so she cooked a few of the Hannah yams or the Jersey yams, depending on where you're at. I think they're called Jersey yams where she buys them at here. She cooked a couple of those today, and then she also had some golden potatoes, and I didn't really know what to do with the Hannah yams. And so I ended up, I didn't take a picture of what I ended up doing totally, but this was the finished product of it. There's actually half of that bowl is Hannah yams. The other half of the bowl is the yellow or golden potato, and then I just put broccoli over top of all of it. And then I ate the golden potato side, and then I ate the Hannah yam side. It was good. The broccoli and table tasty, I don't think are going to be your top choices when you're putting together your Hannah yams, but it was fine for me today, and I thought it tasted amazing. So that was the food that I have had since yesterday. I guess I ate that food after I weighed in, but that's the examples of the food I have been eating for the past week. And while eating these big bowls and large portions of food, I've been able to lose 3.6 pounds. Awesome. That's incredible. And I don't know any other diet where I'm doing that. I just, there was periods where I wasn't losing a lot of weight, or the last month where I gained some weight while I was still on the diet. And it's frustrating to have that happen. But um but it's so rewarding to see it go down in pounds. I watch, or I follow a few other people that are doing weight loss things, and they're not eating the diet that I'm eating. They're eating generally some form of low calorie or low carbohydrate diet. And I just want to ask them, are you going to be able to do this if the diet never gets easier? Because that's what I always ran into with those diets where you were eating half of what you were supposed to eat, or you were eating low carb and just eating meats and fats. And it never got easier. Like, the easiest part of those diets was always the first couple weeks. And it was so easy because the scale was rewarding me when I would get on it. And so it was easy to be like, well, I don't need to eat if I'm going to lose 5 pounds. I don't need, it's okay if I ate less, half as much as I was supposed to, as long as I had a good number on the scale. But over time, that number doesn't continue to impress. And you then get to a point where the reward, the scale reward that you've been feeding off of since you started, isn't enough anymore. It doesn't have that effect because you're only losing 1/10 of a pound or 2/10 of a pound. And so you have to struggle all week eating this diet that that leaves you wanting, a diet that you wish you could eat more, you wish you could have more. And so you spend the whole week stressed and frustrated by your diet. And then you get on the scale and you don't see a weight loss, or you see a very small weight loss. And I would say that that's one of the biggest differences with this diet for me, is that I'm not stressing all week about getting enough food. If I'm hungry, I'm eating food. I just eat low calorie food. And the more hungry I get, the lower calorie the food I should be snacking on is. And when you look at, green leafy vegetables are super low calorie, but fruits are also very low calorie per pound. And that gets me through so many days. The bag of oranges that we always have, the apples that I didn't take a photo of it. I know I had an apple last night. The bananas that I eat, those allow me to satisfy my hunger, to satisfy my cravings for volume of food, and not feel guilty about it. So then when I get to that weigh-in at the end of the week, whether the scale goes up or down, it doesn't hurt me as much, because it didn't cost as much. The cost of those old diets, the mentality that, the mental cost of those diets, the struggle, at first was worth it, but then eventually it loses its worth. And your body starts doing that cost benefit analysis. And it said, you really had a crap week. You barely had any food. It affected your brain function, affected your physical function. And then you get on the scale to lose 1/10 of a pound. Like, is it worth it, to lose out or have issues with all these other things to just lose 1/10 of a pound? And like I said, with this diet, if I just lose 1/10 of a pound, it's okay, because I wasn't stressed. Like, many times, if I don't lose weight, I know that I had just eaten a large volume of food previously, and it's not these little gains of weight that I have, I'm not gaining 2 pounds of fat in a week. Like today, I'm 3.6 pounds lighter than I was last week. I do not have 3.6 pounds less of fat on my body than I did last week. I might have a pound less of fat, I might have 2. I don't know the math of it, but there is a portion of that weight loss that is just the hydration that my body is holding and the food that's in my digestive system. Something that wasn't necessarily intentional this week, but happened was that I skipped lunch on Tuesday. Yesterday, I skipped lunch just because I was busy with work and we didn't end up having Table Tasty here. So I didn't eat lunch yesterday. So that's probably a pound of food right there that would have been in my digestive system when I weighed in this morning that isn't. So I do understand that 259.2, it might be slightly lower because of the food in my digestive tract. It might be slightly lower because of the amount of fluid that my body holds on to right now. But those, there's so many factors that feed into what your weight ends up being. And if my diet would have been bad, let's say 2 weeks ago, I got on the scale and I gained a pound or gained a pound and a half. If the week prior, my diet had been poor, then I would have blamed it on my diet, just like how it always happened before. I would be on a diet, I'd be losing weight. I would get to a point where I would break and I would binge eat something, or I would go have something that I wasn't supposed to have on my diet. And then I would get on the scale and I would gain weight, and I would blame all of that weight gain on that one meal. And in reality, it was probably that meal, but that meal caused me to retain more fluid. That meal caused me to have more food in my digestive system, or it slowed my digestive system down, so I was retaining more food. But I would have put all the blame on diet, and not just your body just fluctuates. Yeah, so I'm happy to see that weight loss. 3.6 pounds is awesome. I mean, I don't know of many other people out there or anybody really doing something similar to this. And if you know anybody that's doing a weight loss channel like this, where they post or talk like this, I'd love to hear about them, because I want to, I know of a couple. Anyways, I would love to see examples of people doing these keto diets, these carnivore diets, these Mediterranean diets that are, if I would have been way up and lost 3.6 pounds, sure, like you binge eat or you screw up your diet for 2 weeks and then you get back on, you lose weight. But I am over 2 pounds lighter than my lowest weight. So that means I pushed into new territory and lost 3 pounds. And again, I just don't know any other diet that would have done that for me. And I'm really happy with it. Cindy here says, "Hi, Jonathan. Just caught your weigh-in Wednesday, so congratulations. It's clear you transitioned from a diet mindset to a lifestyle approach. You are clearly in it for the long game." Yes, I talked about it in the video about the goal setting. And the most important goal that I set on myself was to do this for 3 years. Hands down. Yeah. I mean, because you have to form these habits, you have to change things, and it takes a lot of time to change these things. And the in order to make these things become habits, you have to have these learned experiences. I was doing great when I first started this diet, and I lost an incredible amount of weight in the first 9 months. But I was able to put myself in a bubble. I was able to tell the people around me, I'm trying to lose weight. I need to make this a, am I having, I lost my mouse. Anybody else having any issues again with the audio or anything? I'm getting dropped frames. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. I kind of know what it means, but let me know if you're having an issue. But the habit formingness of the diet, that was something that in my mind, I thought it was, you know, I was like, on paper, this looks like a good plan. But we'll see how it actually executes. And like I was saying, when I first started, I was able to put myself in a bubble. I was able to say to my wife, I want to lose weight. Yes, Cindy's asking, you actually lost more weight than you currently weigh. Correct. Yes. I currently weigh 259.2 pounds. I have lost 260.6 pounds. So I'm over a pound lighter than what I currently, or whatever. There's more than a pound difference there. Yes. But I've currently way less, or what is it? You've lost more weight than I currently weigh. Yes. I was able to create this bubble, and I was able to get people on board with that bubble, and they were great. My family was great. My work was great. Everything was great. When I got started, and I was able to create that bubble, and I did awesome. And then that bubble popped. I tore my bicep tendon, and all of that protection went away. All of the routine had to change. Everything about my, life for a few weeks had to be different. And I had to learn how to get through an experience like that. And then I had to deal with our kind of first bout of traveling after that, because, the holidays came up, and I'm no longer protected by this bubble of, don't even try to feed me anything. Don't even try to tempt me. Okay, now I have to figure out how to live a normal life and not ask people to inconvenience themselves for me, because that's the only way it's truly going to become a habit. And I had to learn that the diet that I'm eating now is the diet I'm going to eat when I get to my goal weight. I still had that old mentality of, okay, I can get by with eating this diet until I get to my goal weight. And then after I get to my goal weight, then I'll be able to get to eat all of these processed junk foods again. And I had to go through a year essentially of on and off of, okay, maybe I'll try this vegan pizza, or I'll try this vegan burger place, or we're traveling and the only option for food is to hit up the Happy Cow app and find a restaurant that we could get that is going to have oil and salt and sugar. And now, so that exact trip, so I'm not going to be live this Friday. I might not be live tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see if I go live tomorrow. I'm definitely not going to be live Friday. But that trip last year, on our way back, we stopped at a restaurant and ate food. And I've already talked to Carrie about that ahead of time and been like, hey, we need to really make sure that we're prepared for that trip home. You know, we do a great job preparing for food when we get down there, food while we're there, but then we always kind of seem to be left with not a lot of food on our way home. We end up eating everything. We're like locusts, and we eat everything as fast as we can. And I said to Carrie, I was like, you know, we need to make sure that we have a go home bag. Essentially, we need to pack a bag that has food for us for when we go home, so that we're not in that same position that we were a year ago. And, you know, I loved the meal I had a year ago, but it didn't help me with my weight loss. And it's not anything that I really need to eat again, you know. And again, it was because I challenged myself to do this for 3 years that when I had those accidents or those slip ups, that I was like, well, I got to get back on, because I got a goal here. I got a thing I'm trying to do. And that's helped me to develop the habits, because just doing something repetitively inside of a vacuum where there's no outside forces, you're only going to get so good at doing that. You know, it's like somebody who's trying to become a great hitter. Let's say you play baseball and you want to become a great batter. You want to hit the ball really well. And so you spend years and years only going to the batting range to practice hitting. The only thing that's ever pitching a ball to you is a machine, and you never have a crowd. You don't have another team out there, whatever they call it when they taunting you. You're just inside of a batting cage with a machine pitching a ball to you, and you're hitting the ball. You can become a good hitter that way. And on your diet, if you're in that bubble and you don't let anything, you put yourself in a vacuum, you can become decent dieter that way. You can become good at eating that way. But then when you have to go out and you have to put those skills in place in the real world, that's where you become great. There might be somebody who can't hit the ball off of a machine, but if you put them out there and you put pressure on them and you have a crowd watching them and you have a pitcher throwing the ball, you have a team rooting for you, maybe that improves their skill, or that person who's not as good in the batting cage. I guess that's the example I need to use. Let's say you have two people. One person's awesome in the batting cage. The other person sucks in the batting cage. But then when you go out to the field, the person who's good in the batting cage, if they can't hit the ball, let's say their batting average is way less than the person who's not as good at the batting cage, the coach is going to play the person that's better on the field. It doesn't matter how good you are at the batting cage if you can't hit the ball when a real pitcher's throwing it to you. And it's the same way with the diet. What good is a diet if you can't stick to it when the whole world is shouting at you, when all of these forces are driving you, when you're driving down the highway and there's huge billboards and signs and say, eat our food, or, and it doesn't even have to be the fast foods. It's even there's foods that try to come across as healthy, and I'm having a hard time thinking of an example. But it could be something as, I guess Dave's Killer Bread came up in that book today. I might actually talk about that here in a second, because we talked about Dave's Killer Bread yesterday. But that doesn't see, or I guess for me, Ezekiel bread, Ezekiel bread is not a bad product, and there's nothing that's keeping me from eating low sodium Ezekiel bread other than my drive to lose weight. But the processed foods, what am I trying to say? You can get lured by foods that portray having a healthfulness to them. And maybe you have to learn that, like maybe you have to have a dog bite you to realize that you got to be cautious around dogs. I've had to have food items bite me in order for me to become cautious around some foods, and it was as simple as the picnic, the potluck we went to a month ago. There was one food that had salsa in it, that had salt in it, that I thought I did. I looked at the ingredients list, and one of the ingredients was listed as salsa. So I didn't really think of it. But then after I ate a little bit of it, I was like, man, this is just a little too good, or a little too palatable, I guess it'd be the word. And so I went back and I looked at it, and it said salsa, but then on the bottom it said, hey, the salsa is made of this, and salt was the ingredient in it. Or the potato salad I had, that as soon as I took a bite and realized that there was pickle in it, and was like, oh, well, pickle's going to have salt in it. I had to learn those experiences. I had to have those experiences so that the next time we went to that potluck, I stuck to a stricter diet. I kind of only ate what we brought, or they had some nice fruits and vegetables there that didn't have anything on them either. But I had to learn, and if I wouldn't have challenged myself to do this for 3 years, I don't think I would have kept up my learning or continued my education. So Carrie says, so true. Everything I say is so true. Well, not everything. Most things, I think. At least they're true to me. A couple things I was going to share, I guess. I took a few photos here. Let me get to the ones where it's not a mess. Took some update photos that I was going to show you guys, because I'm half the man I used to be. So let me pull this up, and then I'm going to pull up the, I wonder if I'm gonna be able to fix that. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fix that part of it. So you're not going to see my head. Sorry. And then this is the other one I was going to put up. Look at that guy. Jesus. I'll try to make this a little bit bigger so you get a little bit of a scale. So this is today compared to day one. And I don't think I have a first day side photo on here. I wish I did, but it's just crazy. Like, my stomach is like flat. It's just wild. Here's the big difference shot here, though. This is insane. Yeah. So, just a massive difference. I mean, it's just so crazy. The difference between being 520 pounds and being 260 pounds. Here's me with a shirt on, I guess. So I think that was all of them. Yeah, but just an incredible difference between when I started and what I weigh now. Let me turn this back off, hide this. But yeah, I should just leave this up all the time just to remind myself. And I wish I could go back in time and I could yell at that person and tell them to just get started sooner. Just do it. Oh, is this, I don't know what. What did I screw up there? Somehow I messed something up on the screen there, and my stream seems to be way behind me. So, yeah, just an incredible difference between the size and the waist, the belt, the being able to feel. Oh, this is like way behind. Are you guys? That's what happened. I hit a button here that turned that off of live. Okay, now I see what's going on. So yeah, I'm so happy to have the weight off. I can't wait to get the rest of the weight off. I'm less than 40 pounds away. How cool is that? Yeah, 40 pounds. So, and I can't even, like, I'm so excited to find out the difference too between the two. Let's see. I talked about a little bit of the goal setting that I talked about in the live stream. I think that the idea of trying to I keep hitting the wrong buttons. There we go. It wasn't, I don't even know, there was so many things that I got lucky with me. Just the timing of things, the way the numbers worked out. And one of the things that I did throughout this challenge that I was actually kind of talking to Carrie about this a little bit, but another one of the biggest things that I did with this challenge, outside of the setting the goal for 3 years and the setting the goal for the losing the 300 pounds, the other big thing I did was I educated myself. And in fact, I think I listened to a Well Your World video yesterday. Dylan, I think, even kind of said something on his video about trying to get started on a plant-based diet, and learning as much as you can learn, I think is extremely important. And I want to figure out or create, like, I think it would be awesome if there was some sort of, whole food plant-based class or curriculum that was out there where people could go and, just kind of, I guess, in my head, redo what I did for the last 3 years, essentially, like start, maybe not do the water fast, but reset your diet and start reading books, start learning information, start putting the information that you're learning into practice. Like, I've read other diet books before I started this challenge. There's a handful of diet books that I can remember reading, like Atkins diet books. There was a Dr. Ian Smith, I think he was popular for a long time. He probably is, still has some people that follow him. But I read all these books, and then I would put that book's program into play, and then I would be trying to run off of that playbook, but there was no follow-up. There was no other person also echoing what to do or giving ideas on how to adjust that diet. But that's been different for me this time, because I started with reading The Pleasure Trap from Dr. Alan Goldhamer and Dr. Doug Lisle. And that was my first introduction. And then I went from that and I read Fuhrman's book, Eat to Live. And then after I read Fuhrman's book, I picked up another book and I kept educating myself. And one of the things I think is great is that I've picked up little pieces of things throughout all of those books. There's stuff from The Pleasure Trap that really encompasses a huge part of my diet. But then there's also parts from Fuhrman's book that, I eat lots of kale or spinach, green leafy vegetables, nutrient density, and then, another huge influence on me was the Michael Moss's book, Salt, Sugar, Fat, or Colin Campbell's book, Whole or the Future of Nutrition. There's little things about each of those books that I now have in my mental library that I fall back on. You know, the Salt, Sugar, Fat, you know, don't trust the companies, don't trust the corporations. The same with Colin Campbell's books, but it was more don't trust the government because they're controlled by the corporations. And then there's like Chef AJ, who's just been an incredible wealth of knowledge for so many people, putting so much out there for them. But without Chef AJ, we wouldn't have switched over to doing more vegetables for breakfast and getting rid of kind of that fruit that we started with. And in that fruit, a lot of times that we started with in the morning also included peanut butter, you know, so getting away from that and eating broccoli and spinach and mushrooms and onions. Those are things that I am continuing to learn as I go on with this challenge that I created for myself. And that education is so important. And I think that if people had some sort of program to follow, you know, read this book, read these chapters, take this test, you know, like make it a college class where people have to actually, you know, learn things. And I know there's certification programs out there for like health coaching and things like that, but I'm thinking more just as a personal growth and education. You know, it's like what is it called when somebody like audits a class, or where they take a class for free at a university, you know, just to gain the experience, you know, like that type of class, you know, like just to like, you know, when I was 300 pounds, how much would that have been worth it to me? Like if somebody would have said to, you know, and that's one of the things, part of the reasons why I started this live stream thing too, was to have somebody to talk to about it, somebody to bounce my ideas off of. And not only have I learned from the books, but I've learned so much from the people watching these videos, you know, the people who don't, that just donate their time to help me and to make recommendations and to just try to spread their knowledge to people as well. And that's just amazing. And it's so awesome to have all of these great influences on me over the past 963 days. 963 days. That's awesome. There was something else I was going to talk about, and I can't remember. It was just to do with the habit. I feel like I was talking about something, and then I took a left-hand turn. Now I got to figure out how far back I got to go before I catch that turn I took. But yeah, the education is important, and it's played a huge role in my success. And I guess to continue on with that education, right now I'm reading this book, Grain by Grain, and I really like it. It's definitely kind of my kind of speed as far as a book goes. It's not super technical, but it's got some technical information about it. It talks a lot about the history of wheat, and or at least the history of wheat from this guy's perspective, or what he dealt with. And it was interesting that in listening to the book today, the author was talking about their work in creating a universal standard when it comes to organic foods, and that they had him and his peers had a lot of influence on how, you know, the government definition of organic. because what happened was each state kind of had their own regulations, and they decided that they needed to make kind of an overarching whatever set of rules for being organic. But the book kind of the last bit that he talked about right before I got to work today was about how the diversity of manufacturers of organic products has dwindled. So, and I don't know the numbers. He said some of them, but I can't remember them off the top of my head right now. But just as an example, let's say that in 1990 or 95, there were 300 companies that were making and selling organic products. And then now in 2015, there's like 100 companies that are making and selling organic products. There's not less organic products being made and sold, but there's fewer companies selling them because the bigger companies keep eating up the little companies. And so somebody will start their organic company up, it'll grow to a certain size, and then my picture went black. Let's hope it comes back here. I'll give it just 1 second. But are you guys seeing me staring at the screen not talking, or is it all black? Let's see. Monique here, if you guys can hear me, just said, just watch your way in. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations. Thank you, Monique. I really appreciate that. Gosh, guys, can you let me know if it's working? Because it says I have an excellent connection, but it's not showing me the video. Let me hit that button there. See what that does. You are on, Monique says. All right, so it must be working here. I was just talking about, yes, grain by grain. All these companies, big companies, are buying up the little companies. A little company starts up, grows to a certain size. Big company comes in and says, hey, I'm gonna, I'll give you this much money for your company. And he gave a few examples. And one of the examples he gave was that in 2015, Dave's Killer Bread was a company that he used to sell wheat to. He said that they were a customer of his. And then I believe he said they got bought by Kraft, if I'm not mistaken. And so that might explain some of the things we were talking about yesterday about them having oil in their bread. Maybe they didn't have oil in the bread at one time. And it was because prior to 2015, it was owned by the person who created the product. And then after 2015, it got purchased by a larger corporation. And that larger corporation isn't going to tell anybody that they bought Dave's Killer Bread. You'd have to be in the industry or in the trade to know, or maybe catch it on the news, but they keep everything the same. And so the customer base still thinks they're buying that same bread from Dave, but Dave's not selling you the bread anymore. It's somebody else selling you the bread now. And when that happens, then that's when you start to see these companies that had a standard maybe start changing their standard because the people in charge are different and you didn't even realize it. And so, this grain by grain book, it really got me questioning some of the sources of the food that we're eating and what is going to be best, going forward as far as whether or not to try to go eat more organic or to try to find or source foods, maybe even more local. Like that might even be what I get from this book as much as anything, is trying to find somebody maybe local that'll sell me potatoes or sell me something. But I really like the book. And it was months that I didn't read anything. And I just kind of got into a lull where I was like, well, I'll just listen to music or listen to YouTube videos. And I kind of quit listening to anything educating myself. And now that I picked up this book, I'm really happy that I'm educating myself again. And all of this stuff just strengthens my resolve to stick on this diet. And uh, that's the key, is to find a diet that you can stick to, a diet that you can stay on. And I think that what people are being told or what they're listening to is not the best information out there. And that and this information's that I'm learning has been out there for a while now. I said something to Carrie the other day about kind of like, I almost feel like I was like, all of the books I've read seem to have come out in the past 10 years. And outside of I guess Simon Hill's book was fairly new, and the Bulsiewicz book was fairly new. But outside of those two books, all the other books that I read are a few years old or over 10 years old. And I'm amazed that I didn't know about it. And I didn't, all of this information that I've learned. The book Whole has been around for a long time. The Future of Nutrition's been around for a few years. The McDougall books, the Starch Solution and the Maximum Weight Loss, those have been around for years. And I never had heard of them. I never had seen them. And now I'm happy, and I want to get to my goal. I want to continue to educate myself so that I can learn the new things I need to learn so that I can get to my goal. If I wouldn't have read Chef AJ's books, then maybe I wouldn't have learned about vegetables for breakfast, and maybe I would have lost, a pound less per month than I am losing. And so all that stuff has ripple effects, and it has benefit to it. And I'm glad I've done that. Anybody got any questions? I got a little bit of extra time today. I'm down to answer any questions you might have. The other thing that I talk about a lot too is consistency. And I love seeing it pay off. I love seeing the consistency do what it has done for me for the past 900 days. When I'm consistently on my diet, I consistently lose weight. And if you want to be a healthy weight for a consistent amount of time, then you need to stay on your diet consistently forever. It is like Cindy said earlier, it is definitely a lifestyle approach. As cliche as that is, it really does make a difference. And the thing that I see people getting wrong is that they proclaim dominance over their health and their diet too soon. I did it many times in the past. Anytime that I had set a goal to lose 50 pounds or to get under 300 pounds, and then I reached that goal, I would proclaim that I had dominated my obesity. Essentially, I figured it out. I knew what I needed to know. but I was never on a diet for more than a year. Like, and a year was the long one. Like and it was actually probably 10 months was the longest diet. Many of the diets were a few weeks, a month, a couple months at most. And I thought I was winning every time that I was on those diets. And I would even tell people, you know, this is what you got to do. You got to live like this. This is the lifestyle you need to live. Not realizing that it wasn't sustainable, and that's what matters is it being sustainable. And that, like, I'm 963 days in. I'll keep saying it over and over again. 963 days in, and I still don't know nothing. Like, I feel like I know a lot, and I know way more than I did 2 years ago. But I'm going to constantly be learning, and I have to constantly be open to learning if I'm going to see this last the rest of my life. And yeah, 960 days in, I'm a sophomore in college. I'm maybe a junior in college, but I want to get my doctorate degree. And so that means I got to do 4 years of undergrad. I got to do 4 years of whatever. I got to do another year of residency. I got to do the whole 12-year program. If I want to proclaim that I'm a master at this diet. I need to have the time in, like the Chef AJs and the Goldhamers and the Hubermans, and I need to have that kind of realization, or I have to have that kind of goal, like to reach that. And it's great that I have these examples of people that can be the beacon, and I can say that I'm not the first one that's climbing up this mountain. There's other people that have done it. Monique here says, yes, consistency is great. You are getting discouraged, not seeing a change in your blood sugar levels, your A1C. You went for an A1C and it has gone down since the last test. So it is working to stay on a whole food, plant-based diet. Yes, that's awesome. Get that number down, and get yourself away from those dangers. And you get that number down, you're going to see so many other benefits in your health. I really am amazed at the healthfulness, the difference in the healthfulness that I see or feel when I'm on this diet. And yes, be consistent, ride out the ebbs and flow, the ups and downs with consistency, and you'll see some amazing results. I think I'm probably going to get out of here. I really appreciate all you guys. It's been awesome. I still got another, 132 days. So that's going to be like 4 months, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I got a little over 4 months to reach the 3-year mark. And that's what, to stick to this, to be doing this for as long as I've done it. I'm really happy, and I'm really excited to be so close to hitting that 3 years, because that was such an important part of this whole thing. It was, and it's really just setting in that I'm gonna get there. Like I'm so close. Like it's just a couple months away, and that's pretty awesome. That and then it's gonna be my challenge to stay on a diet for 4 years, or to stay on a diet for 6 years, or to stay on a diet for 10 years, you know, like, and, you know, I say on a diet, but really, I mean, the diet is what you eat. And so I've changed what I've eaten. And so it's not like I'm on a diet. I'm just eating the way I eat. Jay here says that Chef AJ eats lots of sweet potatoes. They are very starchy, sweet, and filling. Just listen and follow what she does. She has helped Jay with his weight loss, and she's helped me with my weight loss. Absolutely. Yeah, seek out the information. There's lots of people putting that information out there. Chef AJ does daily live streams. McDougall does like a weekly live stream. He posts videos all the time. The people at Mastering Diabetes put videos out all the time. There's lots of great people out there sharing what people need to hear. And it just seems like so many people are unwilling to listen to these things. They're not willing to even hear it out. You know, you want to take away my meat, you want to take away my cheese, you know, it's those things that you're afraid to give up that are keeping you fat and miserable and sick. It's the things that you have an irrational attachment to that you need to probably watch out for the most. So yeah, I'm out of here. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. If you have not subscribed to my channel, make sure you get subscribed to my channel. If you've not gone out and checked my Weigh In Wednesday video, go check that video out. Give it a big thumbs up. Share it with the world. Let them know that you can lose weight eating a whole food plant-based diet, even after being on it for 950 plus days. And if you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nothing coming up that's more important than your health or your overall well-being. Nobody gets to their goals, looks back, and wishes they would have waited. I absolutely regret every day I didn't get started, because I'd be so much closer. I'd be another day closer to reaching my goal. And so get started now, guys. You will be glad you did. I will talk to you guys. Oh, I don't know. It might not be till Monday, but I'll try to get on tomorrow. I got to see the timing of things. If I don't get on tomorrow, then I will be on Monday. I got a big weekend of travel, so I'm sure I'll have lots of updates, and hopefully I'll have some photos and things that I can share. So Monique says, good health, everyone. Absolutely. Good health, everyone. Eat whole food, plant-based, and you will see some really good health. So you guys have a great afternoon, possibly a great weekend.